All right. Welcome, y'all, to day 2 of the Ditch Your Diet workshop. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If you are here today, you are definitely a go-getter, and you're looking to make a change. So we're really excited to have you on board. As you join us today, go ahead and drop me a hashtag freedom. So, again, if you have not, Catherine, good to see you back today. If you have not given StreamYard capability to see your name, you might come up as a Facebook user. But we're really excited. It's Wednesday. It's a beautiful day in Denver. And y'all, I'm not really a hockey fan, I got to tell you. But with the Avalanche playing tonight, I'm pretty excited to get in some hockey and to definitely be kind of a home state girl here today. So Catherine, thanks for dropping hashtag freedom. Go ahead and drop hashtag freedom as you join us today. Tiffany, good to see you. I noticed your comment about this not just being beyond the diet, and you're absolutely true. And it's you're one of those that's really embraced the process, and you give us hope, right? Give us hope to finally get off the roller coaster of dieting, get us the physical results we want, get us the confidence we deserve without ever having to diet again. Catherine, I think one thing I noticed yesterday for you, and again, you're in the right place. It's about that holistic view of health, right? This isn't just a standalone. This is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. How do we be the happiest and healthiest self? Yeah, we're going to take some of those pounds off as well, right? So it's a win-win all around. Nettie, good to see you. Hashtag freedom, appreciate it. I see a couple of Facebook users dropping a hello back at you. So, and if you're going to watch a replay after this, please go ahead and also drop a hashtag replay as you're joining the replay afterwards, and just go ahead and get it and engage with us as well on there. So again, if you're here on day 2, you're a go-getter. Today, we're going to unveil the EPIC formula. And Brandon's probably going to rap for us because it's an E to the P to the I to the C, right? So we're going to unveil the EPIC formula for you today. I'm not going to be spending as much time with you. We're going to make sure that our time is well spent by continuing to invest in you and telling you really what that EPIC stands for. So as you're also, yes, I don't recommend that kind of prep either, Catherine. It's not really sustainable, right? At least we don't want it to be. So, but definitely lots of crazy things we've all done. The other day, I remember I posted something about tapeworms, and as gross as it sounds, the reality is that at one point they really were endorsed as the new diet fad. And y'all, we do some crazy things to get us feeling good on that scale, but and to get that scale to kind of show us some progress. But remember, at the end of the day, we're gonna fire that scale. And no, it does not define you. So as again, we go through this today. Yesterday, we shared the 3 secrets with you that the diet industry doesn't want you to know. And remember, they are a $60 billion yearly repetitive cycle, right? Basically, they want us to keep us as customers for life. But I'm here to break that cycle with you, to tell you that it's not your fault and that really it can be very different for y'all. So don't lose hope with us. Know that we've also got client testimonials that we'll continue sharing with you. So I'm actually going to play a little game with y'all first, okay? If you have ever been on a diet, can you drop in that diet that you've been on? What's the name of the thing? So for me, some things that resonate are Slim Fast diet, the Weight Watchers diet. I calorie counted in multiple different ways with algebraic formulas that probably made no sense. I remember drinking like lemon water to like really help. None of those things were really sustainable at the end. So what are some of those diets that you've been on that that really might not have been all they were cracked up to be? So Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, counting calories, yes. FTDI, Atkins, keto, paleo diets, all very common, right? I think Brandon has also mentioned, hundreds of diets, right? Even the Subway diet, y'all. Not quite sure I want to eat Subway forever either, but so many crazy things we've been on. So keep dropping them as you ultimate portion fix. I remember, Catherine, you also mentioned the Legos yesterday that I had kind of referenced on here. Macros, starvation, Tibia, intermittent fasting, calories. And as you're thinking about your experiences on those diets, what are some of the words that you associate with them? Were they expansive? Did they help you feel unrestricted? What are some of those words that you associate with those experiences that you had on those diets? So go ahead and drop those in. I know for me, Weight Watchers probably was anxiety producing. And what I mean by that is not only did I have to count points, which really there's not much education behind, but I remember not looking forward to that weekly check-in, right? That weekly time that I had to subject myself to the scale. And I remember the 2 days before that experience, it was always like, well, I'm going to save that for after I weigh in, right? I'm not going to go ahead and drink too much water. I want to make sure I wear the lightest clothes to this weigh-in. And it was this anxiety-producing process where I felt like I had to be mindful, but about all the wrong things. So you can only eat half a banana. Seriously, only half. Yeah, eat the whole banana. Boring, restrictive, weekly weigh-ins, deprived of food, guilt. Yeah, that's a familiar feeling here as well. I'm a recovering vegetarian, so the Neanderthal of the paleo was miserable. I am sorry, Nettie. But these are all things that at one point we have subjected ourselves to. And Courtney mentioned a little bit yesterday, the average dieter spends about $9,000 on dieting, on things that associated with those words you said: deprivation, restriction, guilt, miserable, right? So know that it can be different, that this is not your fault. And that, again, even if you're a busy professional, if you're a mom, if you're somebody who's been on a plateau, looking to maximize your wins at the gym, somebody who might be a little bit lost like I've been, know that there is a way out. Okay. So I'm going to actually have Courtney and Brandon come up first and introduce themselves real quick here today. If you haven't met them, we have been business partners for the last 6 months. We have changed hundreds of lives. With Tiffany on here, who's on here today, throughout just the last 6 months, y'all. So we can't wait to continue to share with you today, but I think Courtney's coming up first, and then I'll come back to you.
Thanks. Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday. How are you? All right. So if you weren't here yesterday or you haven't been in the group or you don't know who I am, my name is Courtney Miracle. I am a third of this amazing team. So my story is interesting, and I get a lot of, well, I've just always thought you had it together. You just always seemed like you had it together. You look good. You seemed happy, etc. Well, that was the outside, but the inside was a whole different story. So from about 16 till I was 20 something, I started really restricting my food when I was 16. Got to a point where I was probably full on anorexic, like not to the point where I was skin and bones. I kept on enough weight that no one knew, but I was literally eating like a tablespoon of peanut butter, playing soccer, working out twice a day, doing all of the things that didn't make any sense. That turned into, I'm the short one in this group, that turned into bulimia in college because I didn't want to grade in the freshman 15. So I would literally eat with my roommates and my friends, and then I would turn around and go to the bathroom and throw it all up, right? So for me, the turning point at that point in my life was I went to the dentist and I had 17 cavities, and they were all between my teeth. And I was like, this is not good. I better do something about this. So I sort of got over it. Like I got over the actual vomiting and that part of it. But what I never got over was the restriction and the fear and the counting calories and the hating my body and the judgment and the all of the dieting, right? Like I was on a diet for 25 years. I had massive body image issues. And I just wasn't happy. Like I put on a good front, but underneath it was like laying in bed, beating myself up, counting calories, doing the things. I over-exercised, all of the things, right? So for me, that changed about 5 years ago. We were selling weight loss. We own a physical gym, and we were doing 6-week challenges. And so I was the one like selling these challenges. And so in my head, I was like, wow, can I even do what we're asking them to do? I should do a 6-week challenge. I need to have more of a 6-pack. I need to be leaner. I need all these stories popped up. And so I was like, I've got to have all the things. And what happened was I got closer and closer to that goal. I had the 6-pack. I had the things. I couldn't admit at that point I had the 6-pack, but I did. And I was less happy. And I was like, okay, well, I gotta get better. It's gotta be more. There's gotta be more to this. It's gotta be harder. And so I went in search of a better macro coach, which I didn't need. I had all the knowledge. But I landed on a website that had a podcast with who became my mentor. And she started talking about the emotionality of food and all the other things and saying it wasn't about food in your body. And I was like, I don't think that's true. But in the same breath, I had two little girls, and I remember looking at them in the bathtub because that's where they were at that moment. And I was like, this has to stop. I have to figure out where this is coming from, because if I can't change it for myself, I'm going to pass it on. And so that podcast led me into a 10-month program. It's called Hungry for Happiness, where I went down my own healing journey. It was amazing and beautiful, and just so different than anything I ever thought it could be. But that also certified me to be a coach in this. And that is really where my passion lies, of just helping other women and men see that like there can be freedom, and all the stories and all the things that I believed really weren't true. And so that is really my story and my passion for helping you guys understand that, like, first and foremost, happiness comes from the inside, right? So we're going to work on shifting the inside, and that's what we're going to teach you guys today in the Epic. And when the inside shifts, so will the outside. So that's a little bit about me. I'll bring on my better half, who's breaking up the black. He's breaking up the black today. So there you go, babe.
I know about better. I'm the lucky half. So thanks, honey. So yet again, you guys, I appreciate you guys hopping on here, especially on day 2. That really means a lot. That means a lot for us, but also, I want to give you guys kudos because that means a lot for you. My name is Brandon Miracle. Like I said, I'm the lucky one that's married to Courtney, and I'm also the lucky one that's Jen's partner in our project here. And so yesterday, if you caught it, I gave a little bit of background on me. I have a degree in human performance and sport with a minor in nutrition. I've been a strength and conditioning coach for 20 years. I've worked with athletes of all shapes and sizes, from little kids all the way up to professional athletes. The Avalanche are playing. I even had a little stint of being able to work with the Avalanche a little bit, so I'm cheering for them tonight. But yesterday, I talked about my introduction to basically the simplicity of food and really how life-altering it can be. Like I said, I have a degree in these fields. I have a lot of experience in, up until the time when I had basically a coach and a mentor challenge me on just implementing a lot of the simple practices that we teach in our program. And really the eye-opening change that just really took me on a whole different path of going down that was basically the all opposite side of what is conventionally taught to us, and seeing that in 30 days, you can experience massive change that can literally change your life for the rest of your life. And that was my experience. And so kind of like what Court was saying is, she had an awakening of understanding these things, of understanding the bigger picture regarding food. I will say there was a large time frame in my life where food was literally just fuel. Food was literally just fuel. Just eat this, this certain amount of quality or quantity, eat this amount of quality. And you know what? That's all it is it's calories, it's macros, it's these things. And our goal wise, you guys, and we'll get into this a little bit more later on today, but understanding that food has basically infinite meanings. It's a very unique component in our lives that it literally, we have to have it for survival. We have to have it for vitality. We have to have it for all these things, but we also meet it and we also use it as other sources of meeting for love, for meeting for certainty, for meeting for variety, for meeting for love and connection, for meeting for significance, for meeting it for growth and contribution. Like we literally use it as part of our human needs that all of us have that need in some shape or form. And what we try to help you guys understand is if we don't understand and kind of see the other places and the other roles that food plays in our life, we're really selling ourselves short and really setting ourselves up for failure. Because up until I kind of was exposed to that and really had that demonstrated to me, food as fuel was a very naive approach to when it came to food, when it just came to nourishment and utilizing food in all the different ways that we do it. And so our goal here today, you guys, is to really help maybe broaden your perspective and broaden your thought process regarding that, and maybe see that the reason why you haven't been able to get the results that you want is because maybe we just haven't seen it from a different vantage point. And so that's a little bit about me, you guys. I look forward to our epic formula. Like Jen said, we're going to get into the E to the P to the I to the C. But I'm going to hand it back over to her and let her beatbox this thing.
I know beatbox, y'all. Just to let you know that. I'm going to leave that to Brandon here in a second. But again, y'all, we're really excited to share this with you. Why don't you go ahead and drop us a hashtag epic in here? If you're really excited to also hear what this E to the P to the I to the C is all about. But with that, as you're dropping those epics in, I want to share with you again a little bit of the housekeeping items, make sure we're all on the same page. regarding, there we go. Let me just go ahead and shift this. Here you go. What we are doing. So today we're going to be sharing again the EPIC formula and how we've helped hundreds of clients flip the script. Go ahead and hashtag flip the script on there. Hashtag flip the script. And then day 3 tomorrow, we're going to show you real actionable steps to stop this overwhelming guilt shame game that the diet industry wants us to continue playing and really get the results that we deserve. Because y'all, we deserve these results. You and I are enough. Let that seep in for a moment. You and I are enough. And it's just not okay that the diet industry keeps playing with that. Okay? So that's what we're going to cover tomorrow. There is a free coaching call. Join us. It's Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We will make sure that we answer all your questions. This is time from us that we are gifting to you. So if you're interested in that call, it's an invite-only call. Go ahead and let's do that right now, actually. If you are interested in the Zoom link for that, which we won't publish, go ahead and hashtag free coaching. Hashtag free coaching. And we will make sure that we get you that link. I know we have a number of people already signed up for that on Friday. Really looking forward to it. So as far as housekeeping items, we're going to shift this impossible that we often feel in the yo-yo dieting culture to it's possible, to I'm possible. So homework, I'm going to post that tonight. Right after this, we'll go ahead and drop that. If you haven't done day 1 homework, please go back. We had a number of people participate in that. We're seeing you. We're here to serve you. And I want to make sure that each of you invests in yourself. So we're going to drop homework day 2 in today. For the scholarship, there will be a free 90-day scholarship to our transformational program. Y'all, this is a program that has changed hundreds of lives just since we started 6 months ago. So if you're interested in that spot, don't miss your shot, just like they say on Hamilton. The way that you get your winning ticket there is really through engagement and what you're all doing right now. So I see you for that free coaching. Nettie, I'll be able to see the Facebook users on my phone. I can't see them right now on the computer, but we'll make sure we get to you. And then we also do have a free hormones masterclass. There'll be a second prize winner. And again, all this will be announced early next week. So definitely stay tuned, and we're excited to continue serving you in this capacity. So as Courtney and Brandon shared their stories, I'll go ahead and share a little bit of mine. And I think one thing that continues resonating with people is that it's that difficult relationship that sometimes we have with food because of maybe the household we're raised in. And I know for myself, as I think about my circumstances at the time, that's definitely not the environment that I want my kiddos. I have 2 kiddos to be raised in. So essentially, I'm an only child, Hispanic background, born and raised in Florida. I'm also a huge University of Florida fan. I think, Catherine, you're a Tallahassee fan. I won't hold that against you. But with that being said, a lot of just shame and guilt that went into that as early as really the age of between 8 and 11. And what I mean by that is, kind of to Brandon's point, in my household, the way that you showed love was through food. So what that meant is that mom cooked a meal and there was a, serving of food, which is pretty reasonable. But very quickly, as soon as that plate was cleaned off, there was a request from mom saying, do you want a second helping? And whenever I said no, it became kind of difficult. So usually the answer was yes. And with that, very quickly, over my very short life at that point, the weight came on. And so while that second helping was also served, very quickly after that were the questions of when are you going to lose the weight? So it was this whiplash effect of here's some love through food, but yet when are you going to lose the weight? And as a 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old, I didn't know the answer to that. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have somebody who could show me a better way. So I just kind of sat in that cycle for a while, which unfortunately led to a lot of bullying. About 4 years ago, my life completely changed under the orange lights. I never really grew up playing sports. I think that's one of the things that most people it blows their mind. I've never played a competitive or organized sport in my life. But when I walked into that Orange Theory gym, there were 2 things that got me. and I'm still a member 4 years later. The community and the people. And what I love about it is that you can go and you can do your best. But at the end of the day, what I've also realized is I've asked a lot of coaches for nutrition help, and the answer has always been, I can't talk to you about that. And I get it. We go there to work out. We don't go there for nutrition. But when you really think about it, working out is 1 hour a day, and you can't outrun your fork as much as you may want. And nutrition is really the other 23. And we're going to go beyond nutrition because it's really about that physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual component of true transformation. So my wife and I, my partner and I, we decided we were going to start a family, and we're in the foster care system. So I had a boy, a very awesome little boy, show up at our house who was living and breathing and had opinions. It became kind of hard to keep that cycle or that progress going at the gym. So if you're a mom, go ahead and drop #mom here. If you're a caregiver, drop #caregiver on here, because there's lots of appreciation for that. And many times we're the last ones that we get to serve ourselves. But what I did want to know, what I did want is I didn't want to create the environment for my kiddos that I had grown up in. And so I was ready to flip that script. And it took a lot of headbanging and a lot of my own work to finally figure out something that worked. And y'all, I would have paid a coach, a mentor, or somebody who I trusted to have given me those results faster with less frustration. But there was nobody like me who had shown up. So I'm here for you to let you know you don't have to live in the restrictive cycle of dieting, that there is hope, that there is progress. And when, we met with Courtney and Brandon through a mutual friend, we knew that we were here because we wanted to serve people. So that's a little bit about my story. I'm just sick and tired of the diet industry taking our money, and it's time to flip the script. So if you are ready to go ahead and flip that script, go ahead and again, drop a #flip the script. And with that, I will turn it over to my amazing business partner, Courtney, who's going to start the rap for us, the E to the P to the I to the C. Okay, cool.
I don't know if I'm ready to rap.
We're going to go ahead and do that.
All right, speaking of being moms, our children just pulled up with my mom. So if they come flying through here, this is real life, you guys. They were at soccer practice. So I'm not going to quite go into that yet. So first I want to tell you guys a story. So I had a friend for 20 years, right? And I felt so attached to this person, and I was like, but I just want them to be my friend. And it was everything in my power, you guys, to just try to get this person to ever say anything nice to me. It was like every day I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the thing. And I'd put on the smiling face, and I'd see them and they'd be like, you don't look very good today. Like, what'd you do yesterday? What's going on with you? And like every day it was just this negative feedback loop. And I just kept going, okay, well, if I just do better, if I can just look better, if I can just be that person, maybe this friend will finally say something nice to me. And eventually I was like, you know what, friend, go away. I don't need you. Okay. So I want you guys to think about this. If you had a person in your life that was doing that, what would you do? Drop it in the comments. Like, what would you do? Would you have been friends with that person for 20 or 25 years like I was? I forgot to.
It's okay. I'm going to make Courtney a little bigger.
She's there you go. Teamwork, you guys. So if you had a friend like that, what would you do? Would you kick them to the curb? Like, would you let them stick around? Like, sick and tired of the embarrassment, right? Like why did I do that to myself, right? Has anybody else ever had a friend like this? Okay. So my friend was also named the Scale. So every day for 25 years, I'd get up and I'd be like, this is finally going to give me some good news. It's going to tell me what I wanted to say. And it didn't matter what I had done the day before. I would get up and the number would disappoint me. And you guys, it didn't matter what the number was. The number could go down and down and down, and I still wanted it to go down. Why did I do that? Because I had this belief that number defined me, right? That number does not define you. So I just want you guys to imagine for a second, we talk about freedom. What if, right? You have that kind of friend too, right? Like, what if you could let go of your scale, right? And for a lot of people, that's super scary. And it was for me. But I will tell you, 4.5 years ago, I decided to get rid of my scale, and I have not stepped on it. And you know what? Every day I get up and I get to choose how I feel. And I don't have that person, that friend, that scale telling me, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're none of those things. So I just want you guys to start to think about, what would it feel like to get rid of your scale, to never have to have that battle in the morning where it tells you you're not a good person, and then really be able to live the life that you desire. So This is where I'm going to turn it over to the rap master, Brandon. He's going to share with you guys the E and the P, and I'll be back for the I and the C. So stay here. And I mentioned that we're just like really super white kids from the suburbs, so we're not rappers. But we're going to do our best to share with you guys the epic formula. Please stay with us. This is where the magic starts to happen for you guys. So we appreciate you. And off to Brandon. On to Brandon. Off to Brandon.
Yeah, I don't know about you. I totally thought I represented Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg back in the day.
Yeah, I grew up
Totally
in
got that.
I'm older than these two. I grew up in the 90s, so
Yeah.
I grew up in the 80s,
Yeah.
actually.
Raise your hand if you totally could relate with Snoop Dogg being from Arvada, Colorado. So what we got, you guys, is we're going to get into this side joke from our last seminar of the E to the P, the I to the C. But one thing we really pride ourselves on, you guys, and I'm going to try to really keep this short because those that have gone through any of our programs know that I can really indulge on the educational side of things as we go into this. So I'm going to really try to do my best to try to pump the brakes on this, you guys. But if you guys, one thing I want you guys to kind of go back to, I know Jen brought it up earlier as far as, what diets have you done in the past? And so I kind of want you to go back to and relating back to those diets. And, I think the statistics show that the average person goes on between 50 to 130 different diets in their lifespan. And so when you go back and look at those diets, I want you to also not necessarily worry about the implementation of the how, but more on the side of, did you understand the why behind what you were doing, right? Because I think that's where most of the diet culture and what most diets do is they sell us short on, well, it's just the how, right? It's just this unicorn thing, and it's just follow the how, and it's going to lead you down the path of promise. And so you start down this thing because obviously it promises the world, right? And you're doing it, you're implementing it, and you might even see some change, you might even see some benefit of it. But then all of a sudden you deviate off the plan because it restricts you, because it falls short. Or what I've done on my own side of that is I've become so certain and so almost afraid to do anything besides that one thing that the second I start to deviate or start to want to go out with my wife and have, an enjoyable night and have some drinks and some cocktails and maybe some dessert or do other things, there's a massive amount of guilt because I'm going off plan. Right. And so our goal on this, you guys, and I don't know if you can relate to that. Raise your hand if you can relate to that story. But what we really try to do, you guys, is help you understand and educate you as to the whys behind certain things. Because when I look back, a lot of what happens in diet culture and a lot of the shortcomings when it comes to understanding reminds me of a story, basically an experience I had when I was starting my coaching career way back in the day. I was starting my journey as a personal trainer at Bally's Total Fitness. And so I had basically an employee there that had been there forever. I was trying to shadow him, watch him, ask him questions and everything else. And his take on basically helping and educating his clients was, your job is to give them just enough information. You want to give them just enough information so they feel confident in what they're doing. But at the same time, you don't want to give them all the information because they're going to leave you. And that blew my mind. I was like, what are you talking about? Our job here is to help people. Our job here is to serve them. Our job here is to educate them. And so that way they can continue on the path. And so oftentimes that's limited mindset and that's limited thinking as far as, if I give you the keys to the castle, you're going to kick me out. Where on the other side of it, my job, where I look at it, is we talk all this to our athletes that are on the field and all those things, is my job isn't to hold you back. My job is to educate you. So when you get on the field or when you get out into your life, you can make educated decisions for yourself. And I don't know about you, as you go through different phases of your life, your choices are going to change, right? When I was a high level competitive athlete, my choices regarding food and nourishment and socializing and everything else were much different than they are now when I have 2 kids, 3 businesses, a lot of other, we got kids and played soccer. We got all these things that are going on, and my phase of life has changed. And so if the only time that I saw success was following this one specific diet, I'm setting myself up for failure again. And so what we want to do, you guys, is through the process of educating you is allow you to see and understand the whys. And it doesn't, I know a lot of you guys are like, wait, I don't want to be a dietitian. I don't want to be an exercise physiologist in this. And I don't want you to be. All right. Our goal here, you guys, is to do the same gift that was given me 20 years ago of the gift of understanding of on the sense of a simple trick of, you know what? If you go out for dinner and you incorporate protein into your meal along with your carbohydrates and your fat, that will allow your actual processes to open up, and it will allow you to actually utilize the energy to burn fat, right? Like something so simple as that, right? Like give me a hand, give me a hashtag like opening up in freedom. If that allows you, like just something that simple can allow you to have a little bit more freedom in your day-to-day practices and a little bit more sense of like, oh, I can have my cake and I can enjoy it too by simply incorporating a little bit of protein in my diet or a little in my meal, right? Like that's where freedom comes into this. It's not on the side of counting calories. It's not on the side of measuring and counting your macros. And they, don't get me wrong, they have their place. But at the same side of that is I've seen it and I've done it where we get so locked into the how that we really forget the why. And that's really what we're about. The how will always change. And there are certain things that we see and there are certain things, but at the same time, for you guys, those things can flow. And I would imagine, because I've seen it, I've lived it, is how many of you guys feel like you're flowing, right? Like if you allow yourself to literally look at it, you're like, do you feel like you're flowing or do you feel like you're boxed up, right? And what we want to do is create flow. So give me a hashtag flow if that's what you want to experience. Give me a hashtag flow for that food freedom that we all strive for. All right. So that's the E in this. This is the education to allow you to open up, allow you to expand, allow you to spread your wings and fly. That's really what we want to do. All right. Now the P, all right, the E to the P. All right. So this one comes into it, you guys. This is purpose. All right. The education is the E, P is purpose. All right. And I don't know about you. You ever see that person that just carries themselves differently when they walk into a room? They just exude something different. They just have a different energy about them. And then when you all get around them, or you ask a question to someone, say like, what is going on with that person over there? Oh, that's so-and-so. They have this, right? Like they have a purpose. They have a drive. They have a different walk. They have a different demeanor about them. Well, we want to create that for you, not only on the sense of allowing you to create or see the vision of what you want to create for the highest, best version of yourself, but also understanding that everything that you do from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, you can come from a place of purpose. All right. So what we look for is as far as purpose. Okay. I mentioned vision. All right. And so many of us enter the doorway of wanting to lose weight or fit into a dress or lose body fat or those kind of things. And I'm not going to say that those things are not good goals. All right. But from my experience, they're not very compelling, right? Like how long have you had that same goal? How long have you had the same goal, started down the same path, and maybe hit the reset button, right? Like that sound familiar, right? Like we constantly ride the roller coaster or the yo-yo dieting. So the goal with this, you guys, is to create a purpose behind this, all right? And create something that is empowering and it is compelling, all right? So I want you to ask yourself, right? Like, what is it that you want? What is the ultimate outcome you want? And not go down the road of like, yeah, that will never happen. I want you to ask yourself, what is the outcome that you want? All right. And if you want to post it up there for me. All right. What is the ultimate outcome you want? Now, the next question that I want you to ask yourself, what are you going to get from that? How is that going to, what is that going to add to your life? What is that going to allow you to experience? What is that going to allow you to do in your life? Right. And from my experience, most people want to lose weight. They want to lose body fat. They want to lose inches. Okay, not that those things aren't good, all right? But if we ask that next question, it's usually, well, I'd like to be strong. I'd like to feel confident. I'd like to feel sexy. I would like to feel like I can go on a hike. I would like to go, play a pickup soccer game. I would like to go in the backyard and play with my kids. I'd like to go take my grandkids on a bike ride. Right? Like I want to feel like I can go out and I can look myself in the mirror and I can be proud of what I see in there. Right. And that goes back to, it's not just what you see physically, it's what you also see from the inside in. And we'll get into more of that. But at the same time, for me, those are more compelling, right? Like, can you feel that? Can you feel what it would be like to be strong? Can you feel like what it'd be like to maybe get your first pull up? Can you feel like what it'd be like to be able to run a mile straight? Can you feel like what it'd be like to be able to get a PR in your 500-meter row, right? Like, those are the things that you'll most likely get out of bed for, right? Like that's way more exciting. That's way more compelling. But when we get fixated on the thing in which we that can be a byproduct, but we get so fixated on because what we think is going to take longer than what we really establish into that is we let ourselves down. And so if we can create a purpose of the vision that you actually want to create, that creates anticipation, right? Not expectation. We live into anticipation, and that gets us going every single day of our life. And if we can do that and we can live into that version of ourselves, right? Because we can live into the version of ourselves that wants to be strong, wants to be fast, wants to be fit, wants to be a good role model for our kids, wants to be a good brother or a sister. Then we live with intention. All right. Then we live with purpose and intention. Right. So it's not just what we do, but it's also being able to create, or of course getting creation, but it's also being able to do that at the same time frame of that. All right. So the E is education and the P is purpose. All right. So give me a hashtag purpose if you're ready to drop all this and you're ready to add purpose in your day-to-day activity. All right. I'm going to hand it back over to my amazing wife. She's going to bring home the I and the C. Thank y'all.
All right, guys, what do you think? So we got the first two with education and with purpose. Like all of this starts to unfold and it's amazing. So are we feeling good? Or are you like, wow, no one has ever talked about this. They told me all these other things, right? Yes, Nettie, for sure. Okay, you guys. So I'm going to talk about my two favorite things. So I said yesterday, if you were on, I am the woo-woo one of the group. So bring a little bit of that in right now, right? So intention to me is where everything really starts to change, right? So you can have education and you can have a purpose, but if you don't have intention, then usually you fall off the wagon, right? Things don't go the way. So the way that I look at intention, you guys, is that first we start with awareness, right? So you really have to go, where am I right now? Where do I want to go? And then what actions or what intentions am I going to take to get there, right? But this is where it changes. It's how you feel about the actions that changes so much, right? So if you have I want to look, so I saw somebody say, I want to look better in a bathing suit, right? So we'll use that one. I want to look better in a bathing suit, right? And you're like, okay, I want to look better in my bathing suit. So we start taking these actions from a place of fear, okay? The intention is from a fearful place, right? And then you go on this diet and then the diet doesn't work and then it falls apart and then you have to go to the beach and you still don't like the way you feel and you probably actually feel worse about the way you look because now you feel like you failed again, right? Whereas you shift the intention to, I want to be strong and confident, okay? When you start taking actions to be strong and confident, it might be the same action. It might be going to the gym or it might be lifting heavier. It might be eating more vegetables. Like the actions can actually be really similar, but when the intention shifts, the outcome and the feeling around it is 100% different, right? Like I chased I want to wear a size 0. I want to do all those things. When I started chasing, like I want to be happy and healthy and feel strong, guess what? I started feeling happy and healthy and strong, right? Because it wasn't, again, it's not that physical outcome. The physical will come, but it's because the intention and the inside part of it changes. That's why you can stick to it, right? And so you just got to think about like, what's your intention? If your intention is to fit into this box that the world told you had to fit in, meaning that you got to be this size, that size, look a certain way, eventually you're like, I want to eat the cake and I want to enjoy the cake, right? But when you're like, I want to be healthy and happy and strong, I know for me, when I decided that I wanted to be happy and healthy, my intentions changed everything. My actions didn't change that much, right? I was going to the gym. I've always loved going to the gym, but I started eating from a place of purpose and a place of intention because I knew if I ate better and if I meditated and if I did the inner work, that the outer would change, and it does. And I am living proof, you guys. Like I am healthier and happier than I've ever been. I don't count calories. I don't stress about things. I have the chocolate when I want. I have the whole banana, right? Like I want you guys to understand that the actions can be the same, but if the intention is coming from a place of fear, you will almost always, I would say like 99.9% of the time, you will fail. If the intention is coming from a place of expansion and growth and this vision for who you want to be, then you will stick with it, because that vision, right? Here's something to think about. Fear pushes you until vision pulls you. So can you create a vision for your life and a vision for your body and your mind and your connections that's going to pull you into that goal? Because once vision starts pulling you, it gets really, really, really simple. Okay. So we got education, purpose. Drop me an I for intention. Nettie, thank you. It does hit hard, right? And that was my biggest thing, you guys. I love you guys for being so involved. So drop me an I for intention. Intention will change everything. Okay. So last time we did this workshop, this was the biggest, like, holy cow, I want to believe you, but I don't want to believe you, is the C. Okay. So I'm going to read this sign, right? The sign says, you've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself. Okay. So raise your hand if you're like, I feel like I've given my power away. Okay. So if you take nothing else out of this workshop, I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to understand that you are the creator of your life. You are the creator of your health. You are the creator. Okay. So with that comes amazing freedom, and it also comes with amazing power. Okay. But what happens is most of us right now, we're in a state of trying to control. I have to control the things. I got to stay on this diet. I got to make sure I do all the things. I got to keep my house in line. I got to cook. I got to clean. I got to be the perfect parent. I got to hold down my job. I got to control it all, because if I let go of that control, it's all going to fall apart. Okay. So here's the mind blowing part, you guys. Control is an illusion. There's no way to control anything. You can't control anything. I'm sorry. You cannot control anything. You can't control what the scale says. You can't control how your husband does or doesn't do something. You can't control the weather. You can't control traffic. You can't control gas prices. You can't control your kids. You can't control yourself. You can't control anything. Okay? Does that make anyone uncomfortable? Because it made me really uncomfortable. My mentor said that to me when we started my program. And I was like, hold up, wait up. I control all the things, because I did. That's how I felt certainty, was I had to control the things. So here's the thing. If we just let go for a second and we go, okay, well, I can't control it, because really, if you think about it, you guys, how many things have you actually controlled in your life? Not very many. When you let go of control, you get to become the creator, and you can create anything you want. You just have to decide, right? You just have to decide to take the steps and create the stuff, right? And you guys, like, control feels like this, and creation feels like this. Like, you can create the body you want. You can create the life you desire. You can create the relationship with food, the relationship with other people. You can create anything you want, right? You can bring it, but it's an energy, right? It's an energy of control, because we think we have to, and an energy of we get to, right? You guys, like, life is, so for many of us, we feel like life happened to us, right? Like, a lot of people have had a lot of bad things happen in their life. Life happened to us, right? But I'm here to tell you right now, from this point on, life is happening for you. If I look back at all of the things that I went through, and all of the times I had my head in a toilet and I was throwing up and feeling bad about myself, I would not be the person I am right now if I hadn't gone through that. Okay. So it's happening for you. You might not understand it in the moment, but it is happening for you. But here's the coolest thing. It's happening from you. So if right now you decide, who do you want to be and how do you want to show up in this world, you can create from that place. And that place of abundance and expansion and freedom, and letting go of the diets, and just shifting and being like, you know what? I'm not going to live that way anymore. You can create that. And we will walk you through the path of exactly how you do that. Because I think that's the next question I get. And from almost everyone we've coached, the answer is, that's amazing. Or the question is like, Courtney, that sounds amazing. But how? How do I let go of control? How do I become the creator, right? And we walk you guys through that step by step, so that you don't have to try to figure it out on your own. Like, you can always figure that out. But I just want you guys to take a breath, and I want you to understand, when you connect your heart and your body and your soul, your heart is not your head. Your head and your heart and your soul, and you connect them to this vision of who you want to be and how you want to show up in the world, the coolest thing happens. The stuff that you thought had control over you, it just kind of goes away. Like, I didn't have to just start like pushing away all of the things. Like, when I stepped into this new version, then they just sort of fell away, right? And I remember people saying to me, they'd be like, Courtney, like, something's changed. What's changed about you? Have you lost weight? Have you what? And I didn't. My physical body didn't really change. And I'm like, no, I'm just happy. Like, you could feel the energetics of the joy and the light and the love. And I let go of all that darkness. And that's what I'm inviting you guys to do, is just understand that you can step into this light, and you can step into this love, and you can step into this version of your life that you desire, but you have to take those steps, right? So once we have education, and we have purpose, and we have intention, and we become the creator, everything changes, including how you feel, how you look, how you think, and how you show up in this world. So I hope you guys found that amazing. So can you give me a hashtag? I am the creator, right? I am the creator. You guys are the creator. You have all of the power, right? You just get to step into it, okay? And then I want you to look at this side. What is coming is better than what is gone, okay? And yes, these are amazing for the seminar, but these are in our house. This is just what we believe and what we live by, and the things that when you start to, what you see and what you put into your life every day is what you're going to get. So that is the epic formula. I'm going to ask you guys what your biggest aha is. I'm going to bring Jen back on. We'll have a little combo, but drop your biggest aha, right? Like, what did you go, okay, that sounds different. That sounds different than keto or intermittent fasting or what I've always been told. Like, what was your biggest aha today? And can you wrap your head around being the creator?
Yeah. While we do that, and y'all are dropping it in there, I wanted to go ahead and yes, we've talked about education and purpose and intention and creation. And y'all, and for many of you, probably you've never really heard this before. You've heard the eat this, don't eat that thing, right? Like you've heard the eat before at a certain time, don't eat after a certain time. This is new. I get it. It might feel a little uncomfortable, but I'm going to share you with you again that this is real, y'all. So I want to show you real people, right?
I always forget the things I'm supposed to do when I'm up here.
No worries. I love Erica. Erica's story is just extremely inspirational for me. She lives in Canada, and to go from gastric bypass, like being on the list for a significant amount of time, to meeting us and 3 weeks later being like, y'all, I don't need that thing. What I need is this thing. What I need to do is I need to lean into this thing. I need to lean into shift. And at this point, she's shopping, what she says from her closet, her skinny clothes, right? The clothes that she has, been keeping in hopes of one day being able to wear it again. And that's where Erica is now. It's been 5 amazing months for her. And recently I was just chatting with her and she's like, oh my God, I can lift heavy things. Yes, you can. You're capable. You're strong. The scale does not define you. And you didn't need to be on the list. You have the tools. You have coaches who've got your back.
And I just want to share this when Erica made this. So we were, I think, 3 weeks into the program.
Yeah.
And she reached out and said, hey, I'm on this list. Can we jump on a quick phone call? Because I want to talk to you about it. And I was like, yeah, of course. And so we got on that phone call. And I remember asking her, I said, well, what does your gut tell you? And she goes, well, my brain tells me I should do it because that's the only thing I've ever thought would work. But my gut tells me this is working and I don't want to do that. And she was like, I thought I really did want to do it. And I was like, Erica, you wouldn't have got on this call to verify what you were thinking if you didn't already know it. And so that's the other cool part is she was able to connect with what is her heart really telling her? What is her gut telling her? And she never looked back. And it's been just so amazing. And I remember it gave me chills when she did that. And we were so, so, so proud of her. So 3 weeks, you guys, that's the other thing I want you to understand. These shifts don't take it's not like there's no shifts until 12 weeks after working with us. 3 weeks into it, her entire life changed.
Yeah. Randy's a current client, and Erica's as well. And one of the things that for Randy is she did go through this process, but we talked about, okay, great, that's changed, but has this changed, right? Has this stuff, when you look yourself in the mirror, and I hear this so often, I keep looking in the mirror. I'm trying to find where I'm losing the weight, but I can't see it. The scale says this, but I just don't see it. And the reality is that this also has to shift, right? So she says on here, when I saw Jen post about shift in the OTF group, I was curious. During the 3-day course, I felt something change and I knew I had to join in. My first goal was to run 1 mile. I have always told myself I'm not a runner. How many of us say I am not fill in the blank? I can't let alone run a mile. With that, I have learned during the program, I have changed the narrative in my head and I ran that mile. I did that thing. There's one of those things for each of you out there. You're thinking, I can't do this. Yes, you can, y'all. My goal with joining was to improve my nutrition, and here I'm improving my health, strength, and a whole bunch of other ways, things in a sustainable way. So, Laura, we talked about her yesterday. Again, she came here for the weight loss. She got the physical results she was looking. She feels better physically. But can you put a price on acceptance of yourself? Vicki, you are a runner. I'm here to tell you you are a runner. And I know that's going to sound weird right now, but you are. Okay? So we can get through that and we can talk a little about identities and labels and all those things. But that's one of the things that I enjoy the most about shifting is when again, Randy's story to be proof. Laura goes from again, can you put a price on acceptance of yourself and breaking those mental barriers and loving yourself, right? That story that Courtney said about the best friend who doesn't treat you right, that many times is ourselves, right? So loving yourself, feeling connected to your body, and having the confidence you believe in yourself and you deserve. Love Stacy's story as well. She was a lurker, we'll call her, for a little while, right? Kind of dips her toe. What's going on? I've heard about Jen, Courtney, and Brandon. Really, what's going on? And she attended the workshop last time. Eventually said, you know what do I have to lose? if I learn anything, I have gotten something from it. And I'm doing myself the service of investing in my physical, but also my mental health. So she joined in the process. Stacy, yes, we're getting the physical results. We're doing those things. She has stopped vaping. She's celebrating 1 year of not drinking. And if for her, as it is for us, it's about 1% shifts and changes. This isn't an all or nothing. This is how do we compound that 1% daily to get us to where we want to go in a sustainable and healthy way. So those are a couple of our shifters at this time. Absolutely love working with them. I love the inspiring stories. Y'all, I got a full-time job. So the reason I do this is because I believe in people and I believe in you. So
can I have a moment for coaching?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take a moment to coach for a second. So I feel comfortable doing this because I know Vicky. Vicky would love you. Vicky's been part of our gym for a while. So I just want to point out for 1 second, you guys, to Vicky and to everybody else reading this. So Vicky says, I really need to lose 30 pounds by September. Just take a second for me and tell me, is that an intention of expansion or possibly an intention that's not quite as empowering? Right? Okay. So she asked, so Brandon's on my computer asking that question, like, what will you get? Right? So good job asking the question, babe. We're a good team. It's my youngest brother's wedding, lots of external family coming. Okay. So I'm assuming that you're like, I want to feel comfortable with the wedding. I want to feel good at the wedding. That's amazing. We have no problem with me wanting physical changes. But I just want you to I want to invite you and everybody else listening to this is that when we say need, there's this like that feeling again, right? I'm going to make screen bigger. So I want you to think about what would it feel like to release the 30 pounds by September because you get to, right? If the intention is, I just want to enjoy this wedding and I want to show up with the best, healthiest version of myself. And Vicky, I know you're putting in the work at the gym. Like, what if you were to think about that differently versus I need to, I get to, and I get to release. And I will tell all of you ladies on here that so very often physical weight is a manifestation of emotional weight. Okay. Let that sink in. I can talk, I swear. Physical weight is a manifestation of emotional weight. So if you choose to walk through this, we're going to teach you how to release that emotional weight and that stuff that's weighing you down. And as you do that, and as we teach you the other parts of this, I promise you'll start to see your physical body shift in ways that you've never experienced before. Brandon's coming. So baby, he wants to say something. Come on in, babe.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. And so the other question I oftentimes like to ask, because I think, and Court usually goes into this one, is I think we all have this number, right? Like for Vicky, she's saying 30 pounds. Our question usually is what is significant about that 30 pounds, right? And usually for me, I had an association of if I was 180 pounds, I was strong. If I was 185 or 180 pounds, I was strong. I was fast. I was able. But if I stepped on the scale and I was 177 pounds, that meant I was slow. I was weak. I wasn't going to be able, I wasn't fit. I wasn't these things. So my association was I had to be X in order to express or experience Y. And so if that's where you find yourself of, I want to lose 20 pounds, I want to lose 30 pounds, I want to lose 180 pounds, right? Like whatever that may be for you. What is significant about that number, right? Because what we oftentimes fall into, you guys, is, well, how much should I weigh? Well, and this is where that education piece comes into it is, well, why is that number so important to you? Because, okay, say you lose 30 pounds, but you are able to do less in your other activities. Say losing 30 pounds actually gives you hypertension. Say it actually leads to diabetes, even though like, yes, you may lose weight, but say you don't actually get healthier because you don't lose body fat, right? Like, and trust me, losing that much, like, go with me on this. And so like, there's other variables that we want to help you guys expand on that isn't just related to the scale, right? Like that is a data point that we can use, but also being able to see, okay, well, Vicky's saying she's not a runner, right? Well, what if all of a sudden she's able to run, right? I would imagine that would also associate weight loss at the same time frame of that. And if we allow ourselves to bring about other activities that also correspond with losing weight, she becomes an athlete and she becomes a runner that just happens to lose weight along with the process.
The intention.
The attention changes, right? So we get the same results, but instead of having this boxed in, limiting, pass or fail type of belief, we get to live in expansion, and we get to live into the side of being a creator of adding to our life instead of focusing on the things that we want to lose. Because that's the other question we oftentimes ask our clients is, well, are you focusing on the things in which you want to lose? Or are you focusing on the things you want to gain? Right? Because I promise you, we want to shift into the things in what we're adding to our life, not subtracting. And if we can live into that, that's what Corey always says, that's where expansion comes in and vision. So that's usually the question, you guys, is also what are you going to get from that, and how is that going to add to the things which you want to experience?
So there you go, you guys. So now, Vicki, thank you for letting us use. I just threw that number because I know that'll fit into my clothes. Yes. So here's the thing, you guys. We appreciate, Vicki, I appreciate you letting us do that and letting us kind of coach. But this is what we do. This is what we're passionate about. Like, it's that coaching. It's that true coaching piece, you guys. And so, Vicki, thank you for allowing us to use that example. And yeah, for all of you guys for being here. So I'm gonna let you close it out, Jen.
Yeah. So again, go ahead and just drop that aha from today. I know we kind of y'all, we have a passion for serving. So when there's a moment to serve, that's the way we lean. So know that again, we're really in this because that's what we've seen works, but also comes from the heart, as cheesy as I may be. You can call me the cheesy one. That's fine. So what are the ahas from today? Go ahead and start dropping them in.
I think there was some about creation, controls and illusion.
Controls and illusion, yeah. You are what you believe. We need to flip the script from negative contraction to positive expansion. Yes, absolutely. I think sometimes one of the activities that I have our clients do, which can be a little mind-blowing, because really it's a lot about awareness, is think about those thoughts that you think about yourself daily, right? And then, and sometimes it's I can't do this, or I didn't do enough of that, or whatever it may be. But usually our talk track, kind of think about that over the course of the next day, before the workshop tomorrow. What is your talk track telling you? And if I were to challenge you to write 3 positive things about yourself right now, could you just easily do that? Or would it take a lot of internal energy to start shifting that way? So something for y'all to think about. Anywho, yes, we're excited to be on day 3 tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and actually give you actionable steps to put the E to the P to the I to the C right into effect. So can't wait to see you. I hope everybody has a great night. And Catherine sound like the Peloton instructors. I've also been told I sound like an Orange Theory coach. Hey, I'll take it all. I appreciate that. As somebody who's actually only been on this journey for about 4 years. And then Tiffany, you will all get stronger. This group is amazing, and it helps emotionally, mentally, physically. Improving all this helps in and out of the gym. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that comment. So thank you all. We have a great night. And if you are watching this afterwards, please go ahead and hashtag replay and also your aha from this workshop today. See y'all on the other side.